back. Now this is an interesting one. I'm heading to Eastern Washington, and I picked a terrible weekend to do so. Well, we'll see about that. If you can't tell, it is raining. It's foggy in my truck. There's a big front moving through. It does affect east of the mountains, but not as bad. So it could affect how these fish are behaving. I sure hope not. Hopefully, actually affects them in a good way. But I am no guru when it comes to how the fish react to weather. Yeah, my fingers are crossed. So I have an interesting trip set up. So I'm going with my family, so I'll only be fishing mostly just in the mornings. And, you know, I may not get a lot of catches and footage, but, you know, if the conditions allow me to, I will get into these fish as much as I can. I'm going to some lakes that I have either never been to or have only been there once or twice. So should be, and I've never been there this time of year. So it should be interesting. It should be fun. Starting with the first one. The first one I'm heading to is Friday. And I'm gonna just do a pit stop on the way to my destination, which is Banks Lake. But my pit stop is a lake I won't name, but has been very finicky this summer, and I'm hoping to crack this baby wide open. If I don't do it today, I will certainly do it in fall, because I know this lake gets fired up for the fall. So I will follow back up with some great footage from there anyway. But yeah, we'll see. And it's a little bit more susceptible to this front moving through, as far as like the change in temperatures, and you know, it's even gonna get some rain. So we'll just see how it affects the fishing. So tomorrow, I believe I will be going down to Potholes Reservoir. It seems like at this point the wind will be a little more manageable down there in the Moses Lake region. I might even do Moses. That would be exciting. I've never once been on Moses, so that would actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm leaning more towards Moses. I love learning new lakes, and that's a big one. I'll have to really get a feel for. It might be a lot of scanning, maybe less catching, but I appreciate the process, and that actually sounds a little more exciting to me. So, decision to make there. Maybe if I don't do a family activity or family day, maybe I'll get away with doing both. That would be fun. That would be fun, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so then that puts me on Sunday. Sunday, the wind's a little more forgiving. I want to go visit a lake that I've only been to once, but it just fascinated me. And it's not a big lake, it's just largemouth, but I was really enjoying that lake. It was a shorter day, never been back since. This could be one of those lakes that I'll have to, you know, frequent. If they set up nicely, if the fish are a little more prone to biting, if I can even get through some of these choke points. It's a smaller lake. I don't know water level there currently, and it's a little bit of a gamble. It's a drive from my place over near Banks. So I'll head over there on Sunday and check that out, and hopefully it's worth the drive. You know, that's the whole thing about fishing. You may sometimes end up driving a little further than you want to, and find that maybe it's not as fruitful as you were hoping. So there's certainly a possibility. Monday, maybe I'll do a Banks day, and maybe touch Roosevelt on the Banks side. That's still a question mark. We'll see how the wind acts, and I do need, keyword need, to get a little better on Banks. My Banks tournament didn't go great springtime, and I know kind of some good spots on the south end that the way they set up for fall, but I have a long way to go before I figure out that lake. So I should always spend a little time on banks whenever I'm over east, since it's pretty close to my cabin. So yeah, might end up being a banks day on Monday, and then I'll head back. So I'll get back Monday night. So I'm trying to make the best of a long weekend and explore as much water as possible. But that's my game plan. Sorry, it's a sort of a long intro, but I just kind of want to set the stage. And yeah, hopefully I come through with some great catches and some feedback on what was necessary to get these fish to bite. You know, a lot of times it's a little difficult. You know, there's only certain lakes that I excel at going into fall. I'm hoping that some of these lakes get on that list. So we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. We are having technical difficulties. I don't know why my camera is acting stupid, but it certainly is. Has been acting up the last few days. So the front caught up with us, and now I gotta decide, you know, whether to fish it or just give up on this if the bite's nasty and drive past it again and get to another lake that's maybe not as exposed to it. I have another lake in mind, but it's quite the drive. Oh, bet you that was a better fish. Feels like a better fish. Decent. Interesting. Okay. Don't really have enough evidence, but it appears the littlest ones are in the weeds. The bigger ones are on the boulders.
Give me an update on anything.
Jose is not answering his phone, so I told Fernando to call Brian, and then maybe Fernando can reconnect the wire. So that's the plan. I told Fernando to let me know how it goes.
Do we have any idea what wire? I'm just going to Woodville. I'm on my way in. But we know it's a starter problem, but we think it's a wire fell off again.
Yep.
Okay. And where do you think Fernando B is at? Rod Olson?
Yeah.
Okay. And the truck currently won't start.
Right.
Okay. I'm still rolling my way. I'm just coming over the overpass, so I'll keep going.
Okay, I'll just let you know the moment I hear back. Nice and chunky, but short. $30 foot of water. Can you believe it? So this is a bit odd to me. Normally, it takes a scorching day out here for these fish to push out into 30 feet of water. And today I'm finding them out here, and this is the coldest day I've been out here. Probably all summer. So I'm a bit perplexed. It's not like they're, I'm whacking them out here, but the fact that I'm catching them out here, this is sort of my go-to move when I can't find them in the weeds and they're not in the spots I know that are in 20 foot of water. It's just a bit odd. Makes me think they're out here regardless of the temps, but from my experience, that isn't the case. So it's a bit odd. And I don't normally catch largemouth out here, just to be clear. Out in this depth, I almost never. This lake is sort of an exception. There's one other lake, actually, that I can catch them out that deep, and I'm sure there's others. Once I learn more of these lakes, I'll find deeper spots like that, but for the most part, it's not something that normally happens. They're not wanting to do much besides the drop shot. That's when you know it's bad. I'm gonna try a little different idea. Not today. You got it, didn't you? You did. Going through worms like crazy. Nice fish. Nice fish. Another decent one. Oh, unhooked himself. Well, numbers wise, it's a good day. As far as big fish, meh. Getting smaller or what? Alright, come on. We gotta get better size here. This is all good, and it's fun. But I'm running out of worms, and I want better size. Okay, one more cast out here. I'm gonna hit a boulder that maybe a big one will be sitting on. Then I'm out of here. Too many little ones.
Feels a little better. It's definitely not a giant. I think it's just small and feisty. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's not small, but certainly feisty. Damn, and he gulped that. Another decent one. Oh, no, they're getting bigger. I mean, it's just chunky. It's not that big. Definitely a little better fish. But they all feel big with the damn drop shot rod, that's for sure. Not bad. Nice fish. Can't complain on a slow day.
All right. Well, there's day one. It's a short day, but I'll still consider it day one. I mean, I caught fish. I got numbers. I got a few nice bites. It's just not how I wanted it to go down, but you have to play the conditions. So that front moved in shortly after I was there. Fish were already finicky. I could tell within 25 minutes. I know the lake pretty well. I knew pretty darn quick that it was that kind of day. So tried a few spots that normally give me some fish. Nothing. I knew what I had to do. So I focused on finding catchable fish. And like I mentioned in my last video and earlier in this video, schooling fish that are tight to cover. I mean, you just can't beat it. That's what made my day. If it weren't for that, it would have been terrible, and I probably would have just left. I would have got off early, met up with my family, but because I had that little trick, I've stayed on the water. Turned out to be a good day. Found those fish close to cover. Dragging things through would have worked. You know, I got a craw to work. I'm sure a jig would have worked, but it's only so much you could do before those fish either turn off or you're just not getting enough bites. So I knew what I had to do. Dang drop shot. Nothing's better than a drop shot. Dragging it through that, you know, in this case it was boulders and weeds, but dragging a drop shot through there slowly, kind of twitching it, pausing it, letting it lay there, you know, jig it a little bit, and yeah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. If you're on those fish and they're set up correctly, it's gonna work. And that's why I give drop shots such praise. I wish I didn't have to do that to get bites, but hey, it's better than not getting bites. So anyway, that wraps up day one. I'm on my way to my cabin, and should even make it there by dinner. Go figure. Not a bad day. I didn't have to work too hard to get on these fish. So day two. Moses Lake for the very first time. And hopefully it's worthy. I'm trying to make a fun video this weekend. I hope it's worthy. This is going to be a learning process, and hopefully I get it dialed in pretty quickly. I don't even have any idea where to start. In fact, I'm going to start looking at the topo here in a minute and start devising a plan. That's not a bad idea, so I'm going to get to it. And yeah, obviously I had to break this up into multiple videos. Didn't want to make an 1.5 hour long video or whatever it might be. Hopefully it's that much footage. But yeah, so thanks for tuning into this one. Stay tuned for day 2, and so I'll check back in here in a bit.